So the Federal Reserve met today and yesterday, and they came out with the results at about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what the reason why people watch the Fed is because the Fed just tries to slow down inflation through the tools of monetary policy that they have. One of the major tools that they have is their rate, the overnight rate or their federal funds rate. So the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee, meets 7 to 8 times a year to discuss inflation, economy, job growth, things like that. And they decide if they need to raise, lower, or keep the rate the same. That's one of their main tools. They have other tools that we've talked about in the past, but that's not really in the spotlight today. So the reason why I'm talking about this is this has a profound effect on the economy and on inflation and on investment opportunities or avenues. And so today, the stock market absolutely rallied. Bitcoin absolutely rallied on the news from the Fed. So why is this important? Why am I telling you about it? Well, the last couple of days, the Bitcoin has gone down. There's been a massive amount of selling. We all know it went from like 75,000 to like 61. I don't know how far down it went. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull up a graph here. We got as low as about 60,000. I don't think it breached 60,000, but we got down to about 60,900. So right around 61,000. Well, the Fed met in the last 2 days. The results came out at 2:00 today. And the Fed announced, they announced no new changes. They're not raising the interest rate. And by the way, that interest rate, the federal funds rate, has a direct correlation with the cost of not of mortgages, but of car loans, student loans, credit cards, home equity lines of credit, and the rate at which banks borrow money from the Fed. And the higher the rates, the less people that will want or be able to afford it. So by definition, it destroys demand. And that is what they're trying to do to control inflation. So now that we've had that little talk, the reason why I'm talking about this is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, they used the news today as a reason to pump. And so as you can see right here around about 4:30 Eastern Standard Time today. No, that's not 4:30. It's about 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. It pumped about 7% to where we are now. It's almost 6:00 Eastern Standard Time. I just got home from work and I was looking at this information. And so this right here, I believe, is the continuation of the bull run. We had a 10-20% pullback. If we went from 75, let's pull out my handy dandy calculator. Where is that? Here it is. If we went from 75,000 to 60,000, 60,900, it's a $15,000 drop divided by the 75,000. What is that? 20%. So we had a 20% dip in Bitcoin. We're going to see more dips in Bitcoin. It's going to go up. People are going to take profit. It's going to dip. Someone, recently used the word breathing. You need to give your trade room to breathe. And it's kind of like the bigger inhale you take, the bigger exhale you're going to take. So the more it goes up, the more you breathe in, the more you have to breathe out. And that's going to happen. You're going to have this breath, of Bitcoin and the cryptos that follow. Because you look at all the altcoins, you pick any altcoin. Let's pick, whereas even Solana, right? Same thing. They went up. If you look at this, where it went from 68 and change to 189, right? Let's do that math. What do you think that percentage is? 189 minus, 168. And that's going to be a difference of 21. Let's take 21 divided by 189. It's about 11% increase. It actually pumped harder than Bitcoin did. And it's about the same time frame. See, 1630 on Bitcoin, same time frame. It pumped a little more. The altcoins, they might drop faster and they might rise faster, but Bitcoin's going to be the one that drives them all. We've talked about this before. So how do you take advantage of this? Well, when you see a dip, this stuff is risky stuff. Like this is Margex. I've been using them for leverage trades. I've been getting my butt kicked, okay? Because I'm not disciplined to trade. But how do you take advantage of this? Well, you can use things like Margex if you know what you're doing, you're disciplined. You can go into the copy trading here, and I'm following one of the copy traders. You put your money in there and it does the trading for you. It's pretty easy. Haven't seen a huge run up in that one. There's also EasyBot. I like EasyBot. EasyBot's software that buys and sells crypto for you on an algorithm. I'm actually there. Pionex is another one I'm using. So if you don't know how to trade yourself, if you do know how to trade, check out Margex. You can trade on leveraged margin. Links down below. This stuff is risky. I'm not your financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I had 15 wins in a row, and then I had one loss that wiped out a lot of my wins. So I'm still learning to trade on this platform, or in platforms in general. But I would just be cognizant that, I believe Bitcoin is still going to run long term. And for those people who sold in the short term, you just got to look at history. The history of Bitcoin is that on the way up, there's runs up and runs down. And if I take this on a bigger time frame, if I look at out 1 month, that's probably too big of a time frame for Bitcoin. And it's going to take a long time to figure that out. So let's do 1 day. So if I look at this, it's not doing it. Here we go. So if you look at the data here, you're going to see it go up and down and up and down and up and down. This is just this year. If you take this over a longer period of time, let's take it by a week. And if my internet was a little quicker, I'd have you answers quicker. But the point is that you're going to see these runs up and runs down over time. And as it goes up, it also goes down, right? It goes up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And the volatility is what traders love. So just a brief video. The Federal Reserve, like I said, they came out with the results today. Nothing shocking, but they said there's going to be 3 rate drops still this year. And I think the market reacted in kind because they weren't sure if the Fed was still holding strong with those 3 rate cuts. Now, why does that matter for Bitcoin? Because that gives you cheaper money. And cheaper money and lower interest rates means people are going to go out there and they're going to find higher risks because they want the reward of return. And as the interest rates come down, the federal funds rate comes down, and inflation comes down, savings rates, the savings interest rate is going to come down. Right now, there's companies banks offering 4 and 5% returns on savings accounts. And that's a pretty safe return. It's FDIC insured, a lot of these banks. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So people are saying, well, why would I risk my money for, high risk investment if I can get a 5% return on my cash, super safe, no risk in a bank? But as those rates come down, people are going to be looking for higher returns and higher margins, and they're going to flock to things like stocks, bonds, and possibly crypto and Bitcoin. And that's when this almost looks like it's a perfect storm waiting to happen of the Bitcoin halvening, the perception of lowering rates, lowering inflation, and the search for returns. And that typically leads people to higher risk investments like stocks, bonds, cryptos, and other asset classes, real estate even. And it will help add money into the crypto, which means people are going to be buying, which means price goes up. Now, I can't promise you this. This is certainly not financial advice, but this is typically what happens. And so I am bullish on Bitcoin long term. I wish I had sold at 75, bought back at 60. Didn't do that. I'm just not that astute. Maybe, I don't know, but I didn't do that. So I'm just a holder of Bitcoin, and I use my EasyBot, my Pionex, now my Margex, and then I have another platform I've been messing around with that hopefully I'll figure out and I can bring to you all as well. But for right now, I'm depending on my bots to do the trading for me. I'm messing around with Margex. I've won more trades than I've lost, but the trades I've lost were liquidated. I didn't have my stops set correctly, and I haven't figured that out yet. Feel like I'm real close though. So that being said, that's all I got. Just a quick little video. Bitcoin's pumping. For those of you who sold, at like down low and, you sold low and you bought high, I'm sorry. I'm a holder. That's just how I roll. Let me know what you're doing down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.